A few weeks ago, I traveled to Philadelphia to cover a photo video project, and I wanted to take the opportunity just to talk a little bit about traveling with camera gear for your very first time. If you've never gone through TSA checkpoint, if you've never flown with your camera gear, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about my experience and just give you guys a little bit of reassurance on how to go about the process. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is Matt Kendall. I'm a full-time photographer and videographer. And over the past few years, I have traveled with my camera gear to the point that I wanted to just talk a little bit about some of the basics that I would recommend if you're traveling with your camera gear for the very first time. First piece of advice I would definitely recommend is only pack what you need to bring. So every project is going to be different. It doesn't matter whether it's a photography or a video project. In my case, I have to bring almost everything because they want me to do photography, video, aerial coverage. So I'm having to really think about what I need to bring. What lenses do I need? What camera bodies do I want to take? I really have to think about it because number one, I don't want to carry around way too much weight. Number two, I don't want to waste space for equipment that I know that I absolutely need to bring. So just think a little bit ahead of time about what all you need and determine what you need to do to pack it accordingly. Second piece of advice I would highly recommend is try to organize your camera gear as neatly as possible in your camera bag. This is going to help the process run a little bit smoother for you when you do go through TSA checkpoint. It's not a guarantee that it's going to get you through the checkpoint quicker, but it is going to make the process a lot easier for the TSA agents who may want to check your bag by hand, especially like me because I carry a ton of camera bodies, lenses, batteries, you name it. You put enough camera gear in the bag, you're going to be pulled to the side and they're going to want to inspect the bag. So just having everything neatly organized just makes their job easier and makes it easier for you to just watch them and make sure that everything is back in the bag before you leave the checkpoint. Third piece of advice I would definitely recommend to you is pack everything you can in a carry-on item. Now, every airline is going to be a little different about their carry-on bag policies. I personally like to fly with Delta because I get 2 carry-on items complimentary, one that goes in the overhead and one that goes in the seat in front of me. So I can plan accordingly, try to pack everything in one camera bag, and then pack my other bag with all of my essentials, my toiletries, my clothing, best I can. And if for whatever reason I have to check a bag, I can just easily check the bag that's got all my clothes and toiletries and not really worry about it. I'm focused more on trying to protect all of my camera gear by just easily keeping it on me. You know, it's easier for you to take care of all of your camera equipment when it's right there with you at all times. It's really kind of a gamble to check. Obviously, I really do not recommend checking camera gear unless you have to. If you're working with cinema rigs or anything like that, you kind of have no choice. But when you're working with camera gear like mine, a couple camera bodies that are mirrorless cameras, I got several Canon R6 Mark IIs, a couple camera lenses, a gimbal, RS3 gimbal. You know, I really don't have a whole lot that is worth checking. So I try to keep everything compressed into one bag, 1 or 2 bags, and then just go on my way. So what's the rule when it comes to traveling with camera batteries? Well, the biggest rule is do not pack any form of battery in a checked bag, okay? It's against the law, so don't do it. The second and most important thing to note is there actually is a limit in terms of watt hours on batteries. As long as the TSA sees that these batteries are rated at 100 watt hours or less, they don't care how many of these you pack in your camera bag. So I've been able to pack 5 or 6 camera batteries as well as 2 or 3 batteries for my drone, and I've been able to get through TSA checkpoint without any issues. Airlines, they may have policies, but I've never really seen any, so definitely check with the airline. You can also touch base with TSA, especially if you have batteries that are rated over 100 watt hours, so you can just make sure what you can and cannot do with those batteries. Now, there are 2 other things that I like to do personally when it comes to traveling with camera gear. The first is I like to have insurance on my gear. It is very important that if you're traveling with as much camera gear as I do not travel without some form of insurance. I've been able to find some insurance policies for about $300 to $500 annually to cover all of my camera gear. You may even be able to possibly put all of your camera equipment under your personal property insurance for your house, apartment, whatever you have. definitely look into insuring your camera gear before you travel. The other piece of advice I give is try to purchase some Apple AirTags. If you have an iPhone, this is definitely a great investment for you, because if for whatever reason you lose your camera bag or you have to check some gear that you really didn't intend on checking in the first place, those AirTags are going to be able to save you in the event that the airline loses your bag or a bag of yours gets stolen. It's really just a great way for you to just keep track of everything and make sure that all of your gear is safe and gets to its destination and back to your house. Now, what's a good camera bag that I would recommend for traveling? I highly recommend Lowpro's BP450 Mark II. This is a fantastic heavy-duty backpack that is going to be able to carry a ton of gear. I've been able to fit 3 lenses, 2 camera bodies, a drone, additional audio equipment, microphones. I've been able to fit a lot of gear into that bag as just one carry-on item, and I highly recommend it. It's very secure. It's very difficult for people to pickpocket your bag, especially if you're going to be traveling out of the country. Also, it has a built-in poncho that goes right over the camera bag, so if you're going to be out in the elements and all, it's definitely a great little feature to help just make sure you have extra protection on your camera gear that's inside the bag. And if you're interested in the camera bag or any Apple AirTags, anything that I've recommended in this video, I'm going to have it linked down in the description below for you to go ahead and purchase. I hope this video has given you all the advice you need to prepare for your very first flight with all of your camera gear. If at all you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, don't forget to like this video as well as subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be coming out with more content on both photography and video very soon. Thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, I can't wait to see you in the next video.